All right. Are we on? Are we going? Is it on live?
Yeah, it's on live.
What up, everyone? You can't see me, but you can probably hear me. All right, I'm going to hit record over here on our end. Oh, hey, everybody. We totally should have done this in person, but my office right now, aka studio, is a little crazy. So this is better for everybody, but could have been fun. So okay, so I'm going to record.
This meeting is being recorded.
Oh,
and then,
gee.
Oh, I know. It's okay. I'll count us down
No,
in just a second. And I'll record our intro and everything like that at the end because I need you to send me a bio. But yeah, so we're just gonna get fucking into it. And warning everyone listening in, there's gonna be like dirty language and like swearing and stuff like that, which we're all fine with that. It's cool. We're gonna have a blast. All right. Recording with Eric Bigger in 3, 2. All right, Eric, thank you so much for joining us on the Amplify podcast. I'm super, super pumped for this conversation. So thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. Big Queen energy, you know?
Hey, yes.
Let's get it.
After it. And hey, we've got some big king energy in the room. So
yeah, you know?
Yeah.
I am him. I am who I am. I am him. King me, please. King me.
So this is gonna be a potent episode, an awesome episode. Super excited to dig in, but as you know, we start out with some rapid fire. So you're ready. Whatever comes to mind.
Right. I think this
we're shooting from the hip, just going for it.
Yeah.
All right. What are you grateful for right now?
Breathing air.
All right.
Life.
All right. What? Huh?
Just life in general, just to live, you know? This is...
Amen.
I'm grateful for that.
Amen. What is a guilty pleasure of yours? Whether or not you feel guilty about it, right? We own our choices.
I always have a problem with understanding what that definition really means, but when I think about it, I thought about this last night. I really have a sugar rush at times, and I just want to eat a lot of gummy bears and a lot of
gummy bears
and sugar and candy. Like, I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Or I got these vegan chips I get as well. It's like 9 o'clock at night, and I might be digging in. But I love it. It makes me feel like a little kid again. Like, I'm not even hungry, but I'm going to go get some gummy bears.
I have some gummy bears in my house, actually, from a trip to Vegas, last week, because I never buy candy or anything like that. I keep chocolate in the house and ice cream, on occasion, but no candy. And I've been doing that. I get up in the morning, I'm making my coffee, I'm like, why not have a little handful of gummy bears at 7 a.m. in the morning?
Why not, right? Yeah, so I can't hold on to gummy bears. I get them, they're gone. 2 bags, 3 bags, I got to keep them out of the way. But
okay, got it. Noted. What's a random fact that most people wouldn't know about you?
The first thing comes to mind, and I'm a nerd. You see all these books in the background, I'm a nerd. I love learning. I love growing and getting better as an individual, and I study life. Literally, I'm always trying to figure out things to make things better or more efficient.
I love it. If you weren't doing what you do now, and obviously you are, curating your life, curating your business in the way that feels best to you and doing what lights you up, but if you weren't doing this, what kind of job or career would you have? What's something that's always been super interesting and exciting to you?
I just think I would have been an athlete, easy. Been a superstar athlete, basketball, football. I really just would have been an athlete, at the highest level, just showing up, performing.
Yes.
I'm working hard, so
Makes sense. Do you have any weird talents or special skills?
I can dance.
Okay.
I don't know if it's weird talents. I guess this is spiritual. I have a crazy deep sixth sense at times. I can feel people, feel things, and know things without even knowing why. I was actually here just watching a video on 7 types of healers. So what I realized, I'm a messenger and I'm a way shower. So the messenger is the one who gets information from the spiritual realm, and translate it into the reality, to the real world, and give it to the people who needs it and yearns for it. And then the way shower is the person who does the work to show people this is how you do it, this is what you have to go through to get to it. And we just show, and people live through that. So it's interesting. I'm gonna send you the video. You'll like it.
Okay, I like this. Super fascinating, and I definitely want to talk more about the spirituality,
Yeah.
energy kind of stuff with you as well. Okay, what did you want to be when you were little?
Professional ball player. I just wanted to be a ball player. I always wanted to be basketball, NBA. That was my dream. I gave it everything. I gave it my all. I gave it my energy. I mean, 100 degree weather, I'm shooting basketball. Ice cold outside, I'm on a basketball court. So that was my dream. And then I had to change that. Now I'm a pro in life. I'm a pro in life, baby. I gotta go professional in life. So that's the new profession for me.
All right, I like it. What did you want to be when you were? Or I already asked that. When is the last time that you cried?
That's recently. When was this? Maybe I would say like 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I was crying. I was a big cry. Like a big baby. But it was just like, because when I cry, it's because I can feel things about the thing I'm crying about more innately and deep. So one was just from seeing a situation that unfolded that I knew could have been different if things would change, but it wasn't, and it was a kid involved, and it's just kind of like a separation that happened with the kid and the parents. Kind of like hurt me because I know what that's like, and not having that and having the kids see that and not have it now, like it just hurt, you know? And I was dealing with my own little personal issues of whatever I was holding on to forever, and I just let it out.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
I like that.
I cry now, people. I cry. I'm a crier. But I ain't gonna cry, but I will cry.
I think I cried a little bit this morning, like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Totally fine, you know? Some energy had to move. There we go. We let it out.
You know, it's funny. I had my cousin, his name is Dante Young, and he said the moment when he was a kid, maybe he was like 14 or 15, as he was getting older, the moment he started to cry and let go, he started making more progress and money started coming into his life.
Of course.
Because he was
if you're
releasing.
blocked, right? Yeah, you're holding on to that energy. It weighs you down, right? And it takes up space. And if we're holding on to that, we're not in alignment. And I believe that abundance and attraction works on alignment. And so if you're out of alignment, even in the littlest way, you're blocking stuff from coming your way. Exactly. I love that. When's the last time that you laughed so hard you almost peed your pants?
Yesterday. What was I laughing about? I think this was yesterday. It was something so simple and stupid, but it was just like funny because of me and the person relation to it was just, I forgot what it made.
You laughed?
Yeah, the other day. Yeah. That was one, but then I think I laughed yesterday too. Yeah, it was just I guess I think the laugh was about the government, right? How the government is like, they don't give a F, like they want what they want and they gonna bring it, right? But it's like there's no hiding what they want. Like, but he was laughing because it's like, yo, they go hard. So like if you got a business, right, and you look at the government, look how they run their business, they'll do whatever it takes to get you to get what they want you to have. And so it was just funny because it's like, yo, that's crazy if you think of it like that. That's the way it is. So it was just an internal like moment with me and my friend because it was just like, yo, we just laughed because it was hilarious because it's so real. But it was like, yo, that's crazy because that's literally how you need to be sometimes when it comes to business. Like, you know, you got to do what you got to do. But it's just funny. Yeah.
Oh, right there with you. What is your favorite meal?
Seafood. If my favorite meal, I would say, okay, salmon, sauteed spinach.
We're getting very specific.
Maybe some fried mushrooms and some quinoa with some kombucha. With some kombucha. And detail. I'm detailed like a Virgo. Hey, get in there.
Very specific.
Yeah, I'm painting that picture for the viewers and the listeners.
I know. And kombucha.
That's my favorite. I'm addicted to that, I believe. You know,
it's good. It's good.
Good.
I started a little sparkling water addiction over here on my end, like last year. No, like at this point, it was like early 2020. Once the sun goes down, I just switched to sparkling water. I drink like 7 LaCroix a night.
Wow.
Which can't be good for me. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but sometimes it's just like 2 maybe or 1. But it's like this whole thing. It's a whole vibe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway. what is your next travel destination, or the next place that you want to travel to, rather?
Good question. So there's a how do you say it? Luxurious. I hope I said that right.
Luxurious.
How do you say it?
Luxurious.
Luxurious. I can't even say it. I got the was luxury. Just know that luxury.
Yeah.
It's a hotel in Utah. I think it's the Armor. It begins with the A. It's like $2,500 a night, or something like that.
Okay.
Something crazy. But that's somewhere I want to go and experience. And it's also a place in Palm Desert. I think it's like a cleansing place where you go and you just cleanse out your soul. Like they give you like certain type of like drinks and food. I forgot the name, but it's in Palm Springs somewhere. But outside of that, I don't really have nothing, because I went to Tahiti not too long ago. That was amazing. That was phenomenal. But Utah, that hotel, I'll find it. And then that place in Palm Desert. Like I just want to go to spiritual retreats, and I want to heal more and learn and just unplug, right?
Yeah.
And be free.
Yes.
In order to be me, I have to be free.
Yes. Well, okay, so that is all I've got for rapid fire. So now we're going to get into like the meat of the conversation and do all the things. But before I throw a bunch of questions at you, because I even just in that, I'm like, I wrote down the 10 more like questions and topics I want to cover already, and I'm pumped for that. Would you tell us just like the bullet points of your story for all the listeners who maybe don't know you yet, from obviously like, you know, from Baltimore to like what you're up to now here in LA? Hey. Cliff Notes version, because I know it's like
Cliff Notes. You want the Cliff Notes? Hey, who took Cliff Notes in 9th and 10th grade? Because I was cheating in English. Sorry, Mr. Miyaga. Miss Miyaga, I think that's his name. English teacher, City College High School. But anyway, I'm Eric Bigger, TV personality, motivator, fitness trainer, all things motivation, positivity, inspiration. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, born and raised. I graduated from Hampton University in Virginia. Graduated 2010, booked a one-way ticket, came to LA. I knew one person, I had $1,000 to my name, that was it. And then I figured it out. And then, you know, I did every job from Uber to, you know, selling water machines, a door guy, you know, at a nightclub. And then boom, I got a big break. Went on the TV show, the reality show, The Bachelorette. And wow, you know, I went to 6 countries, fell in love, and then my life changed. And boom, here all my dreams came true. Got a podcast, I traveled the world, speaking engagements, blah, 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 you know. Then I did another show, and then now I'm just self-regulated and creating content that's going to inspire, evolve, and heal humanity, and give people a different way to perceive themselves as well as the world and the lens they look from. Because if we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. And recently I just released a book, 100 Days of Wisdom, that we have.
Here we go. Okay.
You know, you definitely can get it. It's out. Link is in my bio. My Instagram is Eric Bigger. And I also have a course that's connected to this book that you can use while reading it. So that's what's of recent. New book out. Book launch party is November 4th. And that'll be the first Thursday in November. And I have some other things I'm working on. I won't speak on it, but it'll be out after the fact. But it's fitness related. It's spiritual related. And I'm just constantly growing and improving and evolving and becoming just a man of just belief and faith, and letting people know, like, you do the work, you believe in yourself, it can happen. Because I wasn't always this guy. So this is who I am. I'm in LA, by the way. I'm in Burbank.
Yes.
You know, hey, I'm in LA. And I'm in Baltimore.
We're like 10 minutes away from each other right now, which is so fun. Okay, so let's talk a bit more about the book. This is so fucking cool. Like, I love books like this because it's so easy to digest, it's easy to work through. It's not something that you like, because I'm not a good reader in the sense that, like, I know how to read, like all that, but like I'm not consistent with reading actual books. Like, I can do an audiobook really consistently, but when I break open a book, like, I'm like, oh fuck, I haven't read it, I haven't opened it in 3 weeks, you know, and then I'm like, oh, back up a few pages to remember where the hell I am, you know. And so this kind of book is so much like and I'll show you guys who are, you know, will watch video and stuff like that, but it's basically like it says, 100 days of wisdom, and there are 100 quotes in here, or more than 100. I think,
It's 100.
Well, 100, and then we've got 101 to get us to the next phase of things. But 100 quotes in here that are like easy to digest, like I said, along with a lined page to do some reflection around it. So the idea being, go through this baby over the course of 100 days, and you start your day, end your day, or whenever you need it, right, with a fucking dose of inspiration. So I love books like this. Like, this is like something that I know I can stick with really consistently, and it serves a great value for me. But I want to know like where the idea for this came from.
Yeah, so this idea generated in 2015. At the time, I was living in Koreatown. I was in a 1-bedroom apartment with a roommate. You know, that was really different times. But I was taking Lewis Howe's mastermind. And so in 28 days, everybody in the mastermind in the group had to create a product, right? So at the time, I did motivational videos on Instagram. So I would do Motivation Monday, Wisdom Wednesday, What's Positive Friday. And at the time, at 15 seconds, it was just videos of me pumping out motivation for my followers, the people who, you know, followed me. And honestly, it was really me speaking to myself because I wasn't in the best state, you know, mentally, emotionally, because I was still trying to figure me out in life and how do I evolve? How do I get out of this 1 bedroom with another grown man? Like, I need to figure me out, right? But that was a journey at the time. And so those videos, I took 100 of those videos, turned the words from those videos into quotes. And this is how I generated this book. And when I look back at the book, as I look at it now, and I open like day 74, when things got hard, did you stay or did you run? When people doubted you, did you give up? Don't believe in the fears. You're more than enough. You're powerful and nothing can stop you. You're phenomenal. Stay true to you. Stay true to your soul. So like reading that and thinking of that and being in that moment, in that space, I like to think like, where was I at in my life, right? But what happened was those words, that motivation, that energy was what kept me going. What gave me more faith and belief and confidence. I was trying to figure something out. This is pure creation from my soul. This is like coming from me, from all the books and all the seminars and everything I experienced at that time. Really creating it, spitting it out on a social media platform and taking that and putting it in a book. And so this book will get you through your toughest times, your lonely times. You keep you motivated, you keep you stimulated. Yeah. You will want to grow, you want to be more. So it's like you said, it's easy to digest because I'm not hitting you over the head with like 10 pages for one quote, you know, or a long passage. Just you read it early in the morning, you digest it, take your notes, and then you read it once again before you go to bed. So it's in your subconscious, and then it's 100 days because they say it takes 21 days to hold someone accountable for them to shift, you know, a paradigm or break a habit or create a new habit. I want people to keep going. I want them to stay consistent. So you're going to build consistency. You're going to be disciplined. You're going to appreciate dedication. And your life is going to change. And you might not think about it, but I always tell people, give yourself 7 days straight with this book. You'll start seeing differences in your life about yourself. You're going to think different. You're going to feel different. You're going to be different. Not because of me, because of you. You opened the book. You took the time. You read the quotes. You took the notes. And when you do that, I'm teaching you how to build consistent action steps to move forward in your life. Because how we do one thing is how we do all things. And then that transpires into other places in your life. And that's what it's about. It's about you evolving as a human being your best self with what you have. So that's the book, 100 Days of Wisdom.
I love it. You got, and so everybody, 100 Days of Wisdom, best place to get it is...
Yes, on Instagram at Eric Bigger. Click the link, sign up, get the book. I'm sending out copies, you know, once we get off here. I got like 6 or 7 books all wrapped up, ready to go. So get your book.
Yeah, amazing. And congratulations. Like, this is putting together a book, like whether it's quotes, you know, your personal story, whatnot. Like, this is such a big undertaking. So it's a big...
And it's my second book. It's my second book. Yeah. You know?
And how cool to like have a physical, like how fun is this?
Yeah, like, and it's interesting amazing. Because it's my face is on this, so it's my energy. So I had another book that I wrote in the pandemic called Transformation. I'll show it. But it was with another friend, right? It's a workbook, right? And what I realized was that, you know, this is cool, this is great because this helps as well. But this is all of me. This is kind of partner with someone else. It still works. But when I see this and I open this and I really look at these pages, I'm like, yeah, take responsibility for all your actions and learn from your mistakes. Continue to improve. Give negativity no energy. Be great. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
It's like your heart and soul put into the pages.
So it's such a. This is the first time in my life that I've been proud of me because I went through an awakening these last few weeks, and now I'm at a place where I can appreciate my accomplishment. I can appreciate this moment of being on this podcast and talking to you about something I created. Because I said 2015 is 2021, so it wasn't like I did the book and hey, here you go. And I had an ebook prior, but I revamped it, fixed some things, and now I'm here. So I always want to tell people who listening and watching, don't shortchange the process. Give it time, because divine timing is real. And when it's supposed to happen, it will happen, and your things will manifest, and you will feel good about it. But when we try to force, books, when we try to force relationships, force jobs, force things into manifestation, they don't last long, and they don't keep you going because you're trying to control it. And when you're trying to control things, those things control you, and you don't really have the power that you can get from it, because you're not allowing it to be what it needs to be. Like, I had this book sitting in the archives for years, but now it's time for the universe to see it and feel it and get the benefits from it. So I'm happy.
Yeah. So why now? Because if it's content that you had for a long time, like, how come this didn't come to life sooner? And maybe it's just related to all the growth that you've experienced over the last year and everything like that, that you were finally ready to share this and share, because it is like such intimate stuff, it's such a personal content. Like, why now?
Well, timing. We had a pandemic last year, and with the pandemic, you had a bunch of time. So the book I just showed, that's what I wrote over the pandemic, and this was already in the archives. I just didn't bring it out, and it took some time with my book publisher. Shouts out to Brian Johnson, Live Your Dream Out Loud Publishing. And so I released that book in July of 2020, and this came out, the ebook version came out in February this year. And so it was the timing, and in that time, my spirit was telling me you need to create products, because God forbid anything that you make money off of or create, if it shuts down, what do you have, right? What can you do? And so that was my intention. So in the pandemic, I created a fitness challenge with Vanessa Simmons. I wrote a book, Transformation. That's another book. I started a coaching business. I should have had one of my shirts on. I got Miracle Season merch. So over these times, I'm creating products. That's mine. That's connected to who I am. And that was the intentions, and this is the manifestation. And now we're here. So that's really, it was the timing. And then I had the time to do it, and the time to focus on it, where before, you're doing life, you're handling business, you're not really, you got to do it, but you just don't know when. And then I always say, when you have time to do something, you should do it. So
100%. So you mentioned a few minutes ago, like you went through a bit of an awakening even just a few weeks ago?
Yeah, a few weeks ago, yeah.
Can you tell us
Absolutely. So, I'm very spiritual and very deep, and so I'm aware when I'm going through a transformation in life, and where my old self or my old ways or the old paradigm that I was working out of no longer serves me or humanity the way I would want to, because how I feel. Yeah. And so coming from a place of taking care of everybody, somewhat of a people pleaser, being codependent, allowing people to depend on me to be me. So if people depend on me, they gave me validation to be me for them and not me for me. And so I got a revelation that you can't do that no more. That doesn't serve you, that doesn't help you, that doesn't benefit you. Also, it actually hurts them even more, because you're enabling these people by trying to take over and give them the answers you think they should have, and they're not finding their own answers. And then I had a series of like a week where I'm like, you know what? They don't need me as much as I think they do. I think this narrative that I'm created that they need me, I'm pulling energy from them to be me. It's something I created from a childhood to keep me going, but in all actuality, I was afraid to go do the journey and be who I need to be by myself, for myself, alone, because it's lonely, right? I'm really good at groups. I'm really good at helping a group, managing a group, motivating, inspiring a group. I'm good with groups. But now it's like, okay, that's over. That self is over. Now it's about you. What do you want for you, for you? and no one's involved. You're not attached to anyone or helping anyone. And I got a lot of this information from my natal chart. And, you know, I don't know if anybody who's into astrology, but you have your nodes.
That's on my list for us to talk about for
North
sure.
node, south node. So my south node was in Virgo, and my north node is in Pisces. So south node, so it was in 11th house. So the 11th house is of groups, community, people, right? So in a past life, my south node, which was Virgo, was in the 11th house, where in the past life I had a profession of a healer or someone who helped the world. So all my decisions were life or death based on who came to me for help. So in this lifetime, I come here with those capabilities and tools, but I have to work out of that energy, because the real energy of this lifetime is to be more spiritual and more free and more trusting and letting go of control and being analytical and being perfectionist and having to be very detailed and has to be this way, or trying to control outcomes and try to control behaviors because you think it should, you know, stop. It doesn't work anymore. Sorry, sir. And so my spirit tells me, like, all right, it's over. Now I'm a new person. I feel so much better because I'm not attached to people outcomes no more. I'm not attached to something has to be this way or else. I'm not attached to it being perfect for it to make sense for me to make a decision. I don't need all the information to trust it. All I gotta do is trust what I feel. And then in that moment, I was in an analysis of a paralysis, right? Paralysis analysis, where I felt stuck. Like, I don't know what to do, overthinking, overanalyzing, frustrated. And then I'm sitting here and I'm looking like, bro, you got a book. What's up? And then I'm thinking, like, well, how did I do this? Because I had faith and I trust. I didn't have a plan. My plan was my faith. My plan was my belief system. I knew this what I had to do, and I did it. You know, we talked about this, human design. I'm a generator. I go off that sacral chakra, what I feel, and I attack. And then the universe brings to me whatever I need to benefit or learn, and I keep moving.
I love that. Okay, so what were some of the things that you, because I used to be such a people pleaser, and I completely agree with you that people pleasing, right? So when you do that, you are violating your own agreements to yourself, right? You're self-sabotaging, and you're trying to control somebody else's perception of you, right? Trying to look a certain way, or, you know, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings, so I'm going to sugarcoat things. But it's like, wait a second, but now you're doing everyone a disservice who's involved in that interaction. And I used to be such a people pleaser, and I know so many of Amplify's listeners have struggled with that and maybe still struggling with that. Like, what helped you to really overcome the people-pleasing stuff? I know you said, like, making sure you're happy and showing up for you rather than other people, but, like, were there any, like, big aha moments or kind of tangible things that you did to move through that and work through that?
Well, I you know, first thing that comes to mind is that, you know, people pleasing comes from a place of not feeling worthy, right? You don't feel worthy enough. You don't feel like you're enough. So as a kid, having, you know, emotional abandonment issues in my upbringing, I didn't feel like I was enough. So I made everybody else feel like they were enough, right? Mm-hmm. I became what I wanted for everyone else. Yeah. And honestly, like, going on TV, you know, at that time, it forced me to, like, think for myself. You know, I had cars picking me up. My producers asking what I want to eat, what you want to get a massage today. Like, it was just all about me. And it was, like, weird because it was never about me in that sense ever in life. I always made it about people. And then honestly, I just felt like, you know, when it come down to it, I realized something, like, I'm the catch, right? I'm the one. I'm the chosen one. I have the it factor. What I mean by that, sometimes you can miss out on who you are because you're so indulged in what you think you have to be for others, and realize, like, no, people have to be by you being you for you, because then that's how you get more out of people. But you're trying to be everything for people and you're not being yourself, so you're losing yourself and others because they need you to be you. And so I remember when I stopped playing basketball, like 2011 or 12. And one of my homies was like, man, you stopped playing? Like, bro, I was playing basketball because of you. And I'm like, how? You D1, all-American, you know, full scholarship. But I didn't realize my gift and my power because I wasn't looking at myself from that angle until I went on a show and I started looking at it from a different lens. Because I was pumping my boys up and my guys like, yo, come on, we got to do this. Let's do it big or whatever. And I was like, I guess I have to be that person. I guess I have to be that trailblazer. I guess I have to be that leader. as you grow and you evolve, you get more information, and you're like, oh, you're blessed. Like, you have it. You have what it takes. What are you scared of? Like, are you afraid of success? Are you afraid to be that person? You know you that guy, but why are you afraid to stand out and be him? And then that's when I realized I didn't fit in, because most of my life I tried to fit in. Because I didn't want people to think that I felt I was better, or I was different, or that I didn't like them. And I had a lot of survivor's remorse, a lot of guilt and shame around success, where I felt like everything I got, I should give it away or give it to someone else. And then I realized, like, I worked for this. I sacrificed long nights. I booked a one-way ticket for $1,000 in LA 11 years ago. I slept on someone's bedroom on someone's couch for a year and paid $500 a month. I did that. Not my friends, not my family. I did that. I'm out here by myself with no family. I mean, my aunt, she lives out here now. Love her. But, I did that. So it's like, I had to learn how to give myself credit, but be okay with saying, you did it, man. Like, be proud of yourself. And like I said, now I can really see it from a different angle, because I am proud of myself. Because I will always push off, like, no, you helped, you did it. But it's like, I really had to do it. I had to get up at 5 a.m. I had to go see that client. I had to get on those sets. I had to do that speech. I had to book that role for that audition. I had to do it. So if I have a manager or a team, I still got to show up, no matter how much I get paid. So it's okay to take credit for what you do and what you can do. And it's okay to say, yo, I got what it takes. And I'm going to own that. I'm not going to shun myself and say, because sometimes you can be too humble and it'll leave you broke.
Right.
Because you're not owning your gifts. And when you have a gift, you have to give it to the world. And so that's what I've discovered. And feel good about it. Like, it's okay. And how another person feels, that's not your problem. You got to do you for you. And then once people get your backstory, they'll realize why you are that way. And so it's a beautiful, like, revelation and just understanding and epiphany over the last few weeks. I'm just happy to be in this place. It's just like, cool, I get it. Like, we good. Like, we can only win, Like, I'm a leader. Like, I lead. Like, that's who I am. Like, so people need me to lead and do what I need to do for me, though. Because once I do for me, then they know how to do for them. So it's powerful, but I love it.
Yes, I love all of that. I mean, we are speaking so many of the same languages with all this kind of stuff. I love it. And interestingly, like, I'm also a human design generator as well, so like I get you with all that kind of stuff. So for when did you start getting into like the astrology type stuff, the human design kind of stuff, like learning about all of that?
It had to be when I first moved to LA, probably because this is when I was searching the most. I think it was 22, 23, fresh out of college. The first thing that really kind of triggered it, I was to go out to clubs and be in the club a lot. And I was so curious, like when I run into certain women, it was like, why am I attracted to this one woman, or why do I gravitate to this person? I will always ask, what's your sign? So if these people had the same type of sign, I'm like, oh, that's a pattern, so I get along with this sign and that sign. Oh, what does that mean, right?
That's like that's so similar to me. And it wasn't necessarily like just men and dating. It was, for me, so many people that I would have such fast and like intense connections with, even friends. And then I'm like, wait, you're also this sign and you're also this sign? And wait a second, maybe I should look into this shit.
And then you look into it and you dive deep, and then over the years, it just got more information, more awareness, more confidence in it. And someone just sent me something last night that just blew my mind. I was like, wow. Like, it's numerology, but on steroids. It's a whole nother, like, and I'm just like, whew, more information, let's go.
Yeah, so with all of that, like, how do you use it? Like, how does it supplement your knowledge of yourself, your knowledge of others, your understanding of how, like, you operate, all of that? Like, how do you use that as a tool or guidance?
Well, it's just, for me, I'm a person I've observed things and I'm aware, so I pay attention to the signs in my life, right? Where I'm at, where I want to go, who I'm connected to, the energy they're in, energy I'm in. And I've always been fascinated by information and things that make me think about me. And the reason I realize that I'm always curious about someone else is because I wish someone was curious about me growing up. I want people to ask me about me because I felt misunderstood. So by me feeling misunderstood, I just wanted to understand everybody. So then if I can understand everybody, I can make friends with everybody because I understand them. But I never knew how to communicate to them or those people to understand me. Because I never, it was never about me. So I was never put in a position like, oh, tell me about yourself. And then when I did, I would choke up because I'm like, I'm a guy, from Baltimore and I like basketball, So I just think for me, when I get the information, I take it in. And it's hard for me to digest because sometimes I'll just send texts like, hey, look at this, look at that. But it does something to my mental, right? It's stimulating it. It's like, takes me down a path of this is going to get me to the next level. Knowledge is the precursor to experience. Once you have the knowledge, you're going to attract experience because you have new information. The people who are at the top of the world is because they have information, right? On top of that information, they also have perspective that others might not have based on their experience or how they was raised. So that matters, but information is key. I always say information changes your situation. So when I get new information, I dive into it, I absorb it, I get it, and then I apply it. And then what I do is I paradigm shift. I was like, okay, I see. Okay, that's that. I need to change that because I'm hard on myself. So the hardest work we'll do in life is on ourselves. So when I get new information, I feel like I made a mistake or I need to fix something or I need to be accountable and responsible. I take it in, I apply it. We ain't doing that no more. So it's just it's like I'm the way shower, right? Like I told you before. So I can't tell you something I'm not doing, right? I can't tell you to do something I haven't done. So I have to do it to show you and prove to you that it works. This works. These were videos. Yeah. This was thoughts.
That's actually what I was gonna say too, along those lines. You saying like, okay, these quotes in the book, like these were things that you put into videos, yes, to inspire other people, but you were doing that because that's what you needed to hear as well. Wow. And so much of the time, I think so many of us think, oh no, I have to have it all figured out before I share it with the world. Not the case at all. And so much of the time, like with what we're doing, right? Like, or what we are teaching, like we're teaching to a previous version of ourselves. We're here to help a previous version of ourselves so much of the time. Not always, but often, right? And so it's such a great practice or habit to be like, okay, this is something I'm growing through. Why not share that process in a way that's also going to, yes, completely like uplift me and serve me and do what I needed to do, but also support others, right? So this is like some encouragement for people listening that it's like if you're feeling stuck in something or you're learning something or growing through something, like share the stuff that you need to hear now or that you needed to hear a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it is. Because like that's where this book literally came from, right? Those words of wisdom that Eric needed to hear for himself,
right?
That he then packaged up for others, and now here it is in a fucking book, right?
Thoughts become things, and at that time, I was speaking to people. I was like, I was helping you to help me, to help you, to help us, right? So it looked like I'm really the coach, and I'm giving them a shit. I'm the student that's trying to learn from coaching, right?
Yes.
So
yes, absolutely.
That's how that all unfolded. But it's still a journey, and it's still motivation and inspiration and wisdom, and it's still challenges and adversity and setbacks. So that's why learning will always be here, and we'll always have the information we need.
Yes.
But I think what I'm learning now is just to enjoy what I have, to enjoy the journey, to enjoy being on a podcast, to enjoy every day, right? Like to enjoy it and not be so, I gotta do this because if I don't do this, and it's like, get out of that, stop that. Take your time, have some grace, have some pace, have compassion, and show up for yourself. And if you don't get everything on your to-do list done, it's all right. You get it done tomorrow. Like, what are you beating yourself up for? Because I do that a lot in my life. It doesn't help. So it's important to kind of have really good poise with yourself and get to like, my therapist would say, would you talk to your nephew like that if he made a mistake? I was like, damn, no. It's like, how would you talk to him if you made a mistake? You would tell him it's okay, right? And you do it again, and it's all right. I was like, you're right. She said, so you got to stop talking to yourself like that. You got to stop thinking, and I'm like, you're right. What am I beating myself up for? Just perfectionism, like, stop that. Doesn't work.
completely. Oh yeah, I love that. It's such a good reminder. Like, oh, would you talk to a little kid like this? Would you talk to your best friend like this? Like your sibling? Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So on the note of, actually, remind me, what is your sign again?
I'm a Pisces, yeah.
Okay, yes. See,
Sex.
Funny enough, when I was saying like, oh, what got me into learning more about astrology and all that kind of stuff is because I was noticing, like, in the month of March, right? Like, everyone I fucking knew, it was their birthday. Like, my ex-husband, ex-boyfriends, best friend in high school, like this person, that person, new good friend, like everyone in this. I was like, it's their birthday, and now it's their birthday, and then I was like, what fucking sign are all these people? And it was all Pisces.
Oh wow, interesting. Yeah,
I'm a Virgo, which makes sense. It's
the opposite.
We tend to like.
It's the opposites attract.
Opposite, but balance very well in a lot of ways. So yeah, makes sense. Okay, so on the astrology stuff, cool. Could you give the listeners, because we haven't talked about this much. Sorry if we hear the dog in the background. She just grumbled about something. But I haven't talked about numerology, I don't think, ever really on the show. Will you give like a really kind of high level explanation of what that is and what you get out of it?
Yeah. So numerology is numbers, right? I always say numbers do not lie. Everything's a number. Your age, your birthday, the measurement of the building, your price on your car note, your rent. Like, there's numbers. It's just numbers. Nikola Tesla, a great inventor, believed in like 369, like the numbers. But however, numerology is you literally take your day, your month, and your year, and you add it up. So my birthday is March 9th, 1988. So then I would do 3 plus 9, which is 12, right? And then you would add that to 1988, and that gives you, if I add it up, it gives, in one sense, it's a 2, right? So in numerology, no number can go above a 9 unless it's an 11, 22, or 33, because those numbers are master numbers. So you got the 3 and the 9, which is 12. So if I do 1988, 1 plus 9 is 10, 10 plus 8 is 18, 18 plus 8 is what? 26. So 2 and 6 is 8, right? And then 8 and 3 is 11. So I'm generally a 38, 11, 2. So in the lower frequency or the lower level, like when you're not as evolved in that space, 2 is just very diplomatic, very tactful, the peacemaker, self-sacrificing. A lot of like speakers and presidents are 2s. And then 11s, which is a 2, right? It's just a higher self. It's more illuminated with like information and inspiration, like Tony Robbins and Gary Vee, Grant Cardone. These guys are master numbers. They're healers, right? So on the high side, 11 is a healer, but everybody doesn't have those numbers. Some people numbers are different. So then you have that life path number. That's the path you're supposed to live in this life. It gives you a bunch of details and a description of what that means for you. Then you have your attitude number, which you will add your month and your day, which is 9 and 3 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3, so my attitude number is a 3. Then you have your expression number. You would do your name and add your name up because your name equals numbers. So it's a lot of information. It could be overwhelming, but just Google it, numerology, type in life path numbers, and just do your life path number, look it up, calculate it, and see what you get. Because I don't like to push information on the people. I like, look, give me information, check it out, tell me what you think. Does it resonate? Does it feel right? Cool. And I'm always a person, you have to use these things, not as certainty that this is what my life is, but to help you get through life and understand life to get through life, right? Because it's information, like I said before. And the more information you have about yourself, the more you will make sense to the world you're in, and you won't be freaking out. Like, why am I like this? And why am I like that? Or I have this weird, like, I believe everyone is not supposed to be married. Everyone's not going to be highly successful and make a lot of money, but I do believe everyone has a purpose. And then some people don't even care about this information. Let's be clear. They don't care.
Yeah.
But to the people who do, tap in, look it up, get some information, and change your situation. And It's beautiful because you just can add that to your box of development and, personal growth.
Right. And like your tools, right? Because the way that I look at a lot of this stuff, and I've definitely gotten more into these, I guess you would say, like new age or like alternative things, but it's really like such ancient knowledge, you know, like this stuff's been around for so long. And the more that I've gotten into it, like the more it enriches my life as far as like my understanding of myself, my understanding of others, my understanding of the world, all of that. Like it adds so much value for me and guidance too. And I take it with a grain of salt, right? Like I lean into a number of different modalities and sources and stuff like that, and find value in lots of them. And I'm also not like, oh my gosh, but you know, the number didn't show up or this, you know, whatever, right? Like not like getting to, like not clenching it with like a tight fist and stuff. But I find it so powerful, like I said, to understand yourself and others more effectively, right? Because at the end of the day, like all we are all striving to do is to like be loved, right? Like at the very basic, like if we're like, you know, gonna boil down like what all humans are essentially seeking, like on the most basic level, is like love and connection, right? And so the more we're able to, the more self-aware we are, the more we understand ourselves, the more we're able to understand others and connect with others and all of that. So I think there's such powerful tools.
Love, that's all we need.
Yes. So for you, because you're one of those people like me who gets the like, oh my gosh, your energy is just amazing. Like, all that, right? Like for as long as you can probably remember.
For sure.
Yeah. Like, and so what have you done to like cultivate such incredible, powerful, magnetic energy? Like, so what brought that out and brought that forward? Like, what did you do anything, or is this always just kind of a thing that you had?
Well, you know, as a kid, I always knew my energy was different. I just didn't understand it. So it was weird, but then I got to a point where I realized I can use my energy for benefit, you know, to motivate, to inspire. And then I realized in some areas of my life, I got a lot of energy. So it needs to be utilized. Because if not, it goes to waste and it's bad. And then I just start tapping into like numerology, astrology, reading a lot of books, and start studying successful people. Like, what do successful people do? Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey, Bob Proctor, Les Brown. Oh, transcendental meditation. Oh, they do meditation. Okay, maybe I should start meditating. Oh, they read books. Oh, maybe I should read a book a month. Oh, okay. Oh, they journal. Maybe I should do some gratitude statements. Oh, affirmation. Oh, affirmation. Nice. And then up top, you know, I always worked out and tried my best to eat as clean and as healthy. So with all those things on a consistent basis, you don't have no choice but to increase your energy. And to have magnetic energy on top of the gift of energy you've been given, to keep it growing and stimulating to a point where I tell people this is how I attract opportunities. It's by being in a high vibration. Because then those things on that alignment connect with me and we connect to each other, and then there we go. I don't have to go look for the opportunity. The opportunity finds me and we connect because of the energy I'm in. The books I've read, the meditation I've done, getting up at 5 a.m., getting up at 5:30 a.m., eating clean, practicing, you know, good mental, you know, habits, positive thinking, being around energetic people like yourself, you know, sharing energy and content and ideas. And then it just becomes your lifestyle. And then you just live in that space. Probably 70%, I would say at the time, 75%, because you're not always in a high vibe. But yeah.
Of course. What are some of the things that you do on a daily basis, kind of your like tools, habits to keep you in peak state, or to like start your day in peak state? Or if you're feeling like, ooh, I'm kind of like low energy, like what do you do to shift? Like some of these really tangible kind of like habits and action items for you.
Well, you know, every day I start my day with a lot of spiritual action items. I pray, meditate, affirmations, gratitude statements, and then I get a workout in. And if honestly, a lot of having low energy really comes from not getting rest, right? And when I say rest, like sleep and mental rest. So I pride myself on trying to like even take naps throughout the day, or getting sleep at night, going to bed in a early enough time to get the proper hours I need to sleep, and just being consistent. I think, and that's what this book is about. It's about being consistent. Because I can talk till we blow in the face, but if I'm not consistent in reading books, not consistent in reading and working out, not consistent in eating healthy and being a good steward of my blessings, then I can't have a consistent, fulfilled life because I'm not consistent. And consistency is the key to all things. So it was really simple. It's just I'm consistent, and that's why it helps and it enhances my being and helps others when they're around. And my intentions is to help people heal. I have a healing mat in my house as well, where it's called the biomat. It has inflated with crystals. You heat it up, and if you're feeling down, you're feeling low, it heals your body. So look it up, people. It's really good. So I do that from time to time when I'm watching a game or I'm reading a book. I was reading my book earlier. 30 minutes. It's heated healing mat, just chilling.
I love that. Look at you. Who knew? Yeah. I had no idea about that. I love that. Let's talk a little bit of the TV, reality TV, that kind of stuff. So obviously you were on The Bachelorette, and a couple of The Bachelor spin-offs as well. What were some of the biggest kind of surprises for you? What was unexpected about that? And then what were some of the biggest lessons from that whole experience?
I think the entire existence of that moment, at least for The Bachelorette, the first season, was just a big surprise because I had no intentions. I had no information, right, to make that situation make sense other than this is in my life. I attracted this somehow. Let's see what's behind this door. I think the biggest thing I've learned is the power of vulnerability. Because that show for me was healing. It healed me. It allowed me to open up.
In what ways?
Well, I've never had received love from a woman. And in that instance, it opened my spirit up to get that love. And that's what I believe I was lacking, and my life changed. I went from falling in love. I didn't end up with the girl, but I fell in love and I felt great and my life changed. You know what I mean? And so it was I feel like that's what I was lacking from life at the moment. And I thought giving someone my vulnerability and truth would kind of push them away. But it makes people even more intriguing. And it's honestly, it's your truth. It's your life. And it's powerful. And especially dating women, I realized they appreciate the truth. Even if it might hurt in the moment, they just really appreciate it. And I've learned to always be authentic and upfront and just really speak how I feel and what I think at times to not only benefit myself, but let this person know this is where I'm at, this is what's in my mind, and take it or leave it. But that show gave me the boost of confidence to be more vulnerable in all my relationships and friendships. Hey man, this is how I feel. Or because a lot from the show, I got a lot of backlash from my family because I spoke on things that they didn't know I was dealing with as a child because I didn't open up. You're from Baltimore, you hold in your stuff and you just do what you got to do and you keep moving. And I was man, this is how I feel. And that's how I always felt. And then you don't realize until you get older what it was, because when you were young, you couldn't express your emotions because you didn't understand them. So absolutely. That's what the show taught me, how to be vulnerable as a man, how to be more open and say yes to life. When a big opportunity comes or something that is very uncomfortable, doesn't make sense for your life, you can say no, but I feel like I had to say yes. Just because of the timing, and it was what else I'm going to do? If I don't do this, I don't know what can happen. And I never want to live my life to what if? And I think a lot of people do that because they want to go back to that control. I want to be in control of my outcomes. I want to be in control of my destiny. And maybe this is part of your destiny. Just say yes to it and control that part of it. So, yeah.
Yeah. So many lessons, I'm sure. And I will say too, what you said, I know so many men feel fear around being vulnerable, right? Or quote unquote looking weak. I mean, I myself used to be so stuck in my masculine energy and felt the divine feminine qualities of the softness and the vulnerability. I felt those were bad, right? And that was weakness. And so I wasn't even comfortable being vulnerable. And so for men, especially masculine men who are leaders, right? There's this idea, I think, that showing those softer sides or the vulnerability, that's a bad thing. But I see it as such a show of strength, actually, right? like it takes a lot of strength to show up really raw and real and vulnerable, and to share and show up when you don't feel like you have it all together, or when you don't feel like you're perfect or tough or whatever it is, right? And so so it's such a
it's tough, and it's a mindset shift, because you get more out of the other side that you didn't think you would, opposed to you're gonna lie, you're gonna manipulate, you're gonna finesse, and it's like, but then it only lasted for so long. And then the truth comes out, and then you look crazy, or you gotta go run and hide from it because you didn't own it. So
yes. So I think too, like along these lines, like talking masculinity and stuff like that. Like I think that these days, like culturally, we're seeing a big attack on masculinity, and with so many of the issues that we're experiencing in the country and the world, like I think a lot could be improved by having more men really grounded in their masculinity. What do you think of just kind of the state of I don't know, like do you feel like there's a bit of an attack on masculinity these days? Like the more like masculine man, or that it's like not encouraged or almost seen as a bad thing? Like I don't know if you even would agree with that.
No, I don't think it's an attack.
Okay.
I think there's maybe there's a less of a felt for it in the universe, because I feel like women are becoming more authority figures. They're more in their masculine energy, where they're running businesses, they're making tons of money, they're in leadership roles. The times are changing. Men are more, they're more in their beta state maybe, or maybe more not as masculine or as alpha. But some of us, like myself, I'm just, I'm full blown masculine, but I know how to be soft. Like I know how to be vulnerable and say, look, this is what I'm feeling, this is where I'm at. So I think there can be a disconnect with men who feel like they have to always be masculine. I think that's where they fail themselves and their partner in their team, whatever space they're working in or living in. But I didn't know there was an attack on masculinity. I don't think people talk about toxic positivity, toxic masculinity, all those things, but it's just like, what are we really talking about? Because I don't have a clue. Maybe
that's just something that I've noticed. It's almost like the alpha masculine men are like almost made out to be bad guys lately.
Really?
And there is a way. There's toxic masculinity, and there's toxic femininity too. Like there's both sides of it, and so that's kind of more what the direction I was leaning in with that. But okay, so now let's talk about like the dating and like sex and relationships and that kind of stuff. So I have so many questions around this. So one, you hinted at, and I'm pretty certain, obviously this was what you were talking about, that, I've noticed I have so much energy in certain areas and, parts of it, like all that.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you're meaning like that sexual energy, right?
Yeah,
like that
absolutely.
sacral chakra energy. And as a human design generator as well, myself, like, yes, so much sacral energy, like that is our like powerhouse and all of that when you're a sacral authority generator. So how have you learned to really like harness that energy, not just obviously for sex, but like to channel that for other uses,
It's always been like a challenge, at least growing up, because I didn't know what to do with it, There's a lot of masturbation going on because of that. And then as I've gotten older, thank God I'm an athlete and I work out, I'm a fitness trainer. A lot of my energy goes to working out, right? A lot of my energy goes to research and information and learning, right? And then I love food. I'm a foodie. I can eat.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you grow and you get older, you realize you have a more comfortable space with energy. Like you realize you started, because I used to try to like hide from my sex drive, and like I don't want to be this positive person but just have this crazy sex drive and be very strong and explosive. I was like, they don't know that about me. Like I'm kind of like, because I was like, I didn't know how to embrace it. And then as I've gotten older, I'm comfortable in it. I love it. I realized at times it serves a great purpose for my life, and I need it and I want it, and it got to make sense, right? So I just like to put that energy into things that's going to manifest greatness in my life. Books, courses, workouts, stimulating conversation, reading books, going to seminars. I put all that energy into things I want to see grow and manifest. And sometimes you can get lost in that energy and it's a lot of lust that you put it into, and it can kind of burn you out, and it's not really healthy. So it ebbs and flows. No one's perfect, but that's how I kind of like dissipate, or distribute that energy in a positive way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely, yeah. We can transmute it toward the things that we're really excited about, because for you and I, as like I said, as sacral authority generators, right? And for everyone listening, like when I'm saying that, like generator, that sort of thing, this is human design, so you can really easily figure out your human design, like blueprint, if you will. Just like Google it. But yeah, and so for us, for generators, like we love to like dig in and like work and produce and create and all of that, but really can only like are most powerful and like only like really effective and feel our best when it's something that we're super excited about, right? Like as long as we are stoked about something, like follow the desires and the joy and whatever lights you up, and we can as generators like create fucking magic.
Yeah.
And so similarly, like using that sexual energy, that sacral energy, not just for sex, right? Like okay, like use that fire to work on whatever the next project is that you're super fucking excited about, right? And not be disposing of it irresponsibly or in places where it's not going to be effective.
Yeah, for sure. Trust me, I've been there several times. I'm burned out. Like, dang, I gotta stop this. This is bad. So
yeah, exactly. So okay, so on that note, like, how has dating for you looked over the past year and a half, like with how the world has changed and all of that? How's that been?
Before the world has changed, dating for me was tough just in general.
Okay.
Because I was on a show. So when I meet women or connect with women, you never know who you're getting. Like, are you dating me because of who I am, or what it looks like on social space, or are you dating because you really like me, or you into me, or maybe it's a little bit of both. But I realized they can't really give me an accurate answer because they only know me from what they see me in, right? So even if they say, no, I only like you for you, it's like, yeah, but you wouldn't even know me if it wasn't for that.
Yeah,
even
like
if you don't know
that knowledge.
Right, if you don't even know, me from any other things, and then you see my social media, red flags, or, antenna's gonna go off like, hold on, what's going on? So that changed because perception is people's reality. So my history has been dating women who are not fully ready or know how to be with a man or deal with a man who's emotionally vulnerable and capable and mature, who's very in tune with his feelings and emotion, who speaks his mind, who's very honest. It's like it's too much. And so it is even intimidating. It scares women away, or they can't be around it too much too long because my energy is so strong. I think sometimes people feel like they got to be perfect or be a certain way because of how I am around me. And it's like, no, you don't. You just be yourself. That and just, and there is a lot of commitment issues on my end just for how I was raised. But I think it's also because of my life, too. The stuff I see on a day-to-day basis, the stuff I experience and I know. It's hard to just settle down with just anybody because that's what they want or that's what they think. And I'm like... And I discovered something a few days ago. I said, women will date someone and fall for someone off emotions and not off reality.
Okay.
And a guy won't date a woman off emotions and won't even date off of reality. So the thing is...
so then what will a guy date off of?
So what I'm saying is he will eventually, once he realizes his reality can match his emotions for that person. So there's a book, The Way to the Superior Man, and it says, if a guy doesn't have a purpose, he can't have a wife. So if a guy is just living for his family and his wife and kids and not living for himself and what his purpose and mission is, he actually fails them and himself because he needs something to feed him to feed them. If you're just feeding them and
Yes.
you're burning out, you're failing them. So I discovered that because a woman, my mom told me, she's like, women really live from their heart. And she's like, heartbreak, you can really feel it in your heart. Your heart really feels broken. And she said there's statistics stating that more women die from heart attacks and more than anything because of heartbreak. You know, because they live from an emotional space. It's in the heart. And most guys, if we get hurt one time, we never want to go back because it hurts. So, but as a man, you know, for me, you always want to provide and protect, but you want to be in a position where you can take care of your woman and, you know, give to her, but also give to yourself. Have something like, I always look at athletes, no matter what age, when they get in the NBA, NFL, baseball, it's easy for them to be in a relationship, right? Because they have the finances, they have the career, they have the foundation, whether they have the emotional capability to be in a relationship, the communication, they can have the stability of a relationship because they have the finances, they have the profession that gives them life and passion, and they have a setup that's easy to kind of operate in to make a woman feel secure, even though she might not feel loved. But she knows she's stable and she knows she has benefits and that no matter what, she's going to be okay, right? Mm-hmm. So there's some instances where women are like, no, but I don't care about that because, you know, I love you and you know, I don't want to support you and whatever, what's mine is what's yours. It's like, yeah, but then you burn out because this person can't bring it. And then you guys don't even like each other because he's not pulling his side to the forefront because he doesn't have a purpose. But yet you over here pulling everything like a mom would, and you know, the kids, you're doing it for the kids and for your man, and then you're burnt out, and then you're not even in love no more because you're doing everything, and it's just not healthy. And I realize it's hard for women to accept that a guy doesn't want to commit when they want it because they're coming from the heart space. And a guy is coming from a more logical, mental space. Like, I want to commit, but I can't. I'm not in a position to feel that because I'm not where I want to be. You know, so it's hard.
The interesting. Oh no, go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, as I said, it's just hard because if we understand, like, men and women, we're totally different. We think differently, and it's okay for people to have their wants and needs. But just because someone is not where you're at doesn't mean they don't want to. They're just not ready. So you can't force or make a person feel bad for not being what you want because that's what you want. You can't force someone into a relationship or a situation because that benefits your heart. Or you can't get mad at a woman for messing around, but you can go mess around as a man. It doesn't work like that. You know, you can't point the finger. You can't make a person feel bad. Everything comes in due time, and when that's right, you'll know. But when you force things, they fail you.
Yes. Yep. I completely agree. The funny thing about that is when you're talking like, oh, women usually date like this, that sort of thing. I tend to, it's fascinating because like am very like embodied in my divine feminine and everything like that, my big queen energy, and like when it comes to dating, I typically like my process or like how I navigate dating is often way more like a man would than a woman. Because I'm usually the one, like I'm usually more in the like not based off of just like, yes, feelings as far as the connection and stuff like that goes, but when it comes to me like actually wanting to commit or spend a lot of time and energy with somebody, like I don't make those decisions based off of just my feelings. It's so much more about like, yes, the reality of it and the facts of the situation too. Like, and then making sure, of course, the feelings are there, the chemistry's there, my intuition is like, you know, guiding me a certain way. But yeah, that I've always tended to be a bit more wired in dating the way that like guys date.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. That's respectful. I get it. I don't care what no woman said. I'm not settling just because it sounds good, it looks good, it feels good. If that don't feel good to me, I'm not doing it. That's just what it is. And I'm never going to do it until I feel, because only the person knows what they've been through and what they're going through. And even if, you know, women always go, well, how do you know if you never try? You don't know. It's like, no, I know. I can feel when something is going. If this is happening, this is a no for now. Maybe later, but you know, I'm not trying to get into something just to try it. Like, no, we're not doing that. I'm not just trying life. I'm doing life. I'm being it. And it's hard because, you know, you want to give people the benefit of the doubt and give them what they, but it's like, if you can't give it to them, it's like, I'm sorry. I still appreciate you.
And something that you said too with men, like the importance for men in really being like tapped into their purpose and working on their mission, and like, yeah, maybe they don't need to have like all the things in place and finished and it's all done, like I've arrived, right? Like, yeah, you can like find your partner while you're building your thing, but I think women often don't realize how important that is to a man, right? That so purpose and what he's creating in the world. And I mean, what's the book? I'm forgetting what the book is called, like Keys to the Kingdom or something. What is her name? I can look it up right now. Keys to the Kingdom. Keys to the Kingdom by Alison Armstrong. So it's very much about like male-female dynamics and about like men's like phases that they go through in life, right? They're like prince phase, like king phase, like all this kind of stuff, which are very correlated. And I think there's 4, I'm forgetting all of them, but they're very much correlated to like where they're at, like in their mission and their purpose. And I used to, so it's so interesting because as far as love languages go, like my number 1 is acts of service, and I know very clearly like why that's my number 1, like if I'm tracing it back to like childhood and all that kind of stuff. Acts of service, and then words of affirmation in how I feel loved, right? How I show is words of affirmation and touch. That's like where I show the most. But how I feel love, receive love, acts of service is one of the top ones. And I used to want to, like, I love dating successful men and driven men, ambitious men who are like really on fire for what they're creating in the world and doing with their life and really passionate for it or about it. And I used to want to be with men like that, but then also have them put me first ahead of whatever their thing was, right? And so it was like, oh, I want you to be so fired up about your shit, but now I want you to put me first so that I know that I'm the most important. Or I want you to carve out time, which, yes, like on the one hand, yes, if you find like a woman that you want to be with, yes, you create space for her in your life. And I used to do it almost like not manipulatively, but it was very much coming from my own wounding of wanting to be like, okay, well, if that's the most important thing in your life, you have to prove to me that I am by like putting me before work or whatever it is. And I have shifted that understanding so much in like the last few months to be like, no, if I'm saying I want a man who's like super fucking on fire for what he's creating, like, yes, we get to find intentional time together, but like, I don't want to add stress or make it him feel like I'm trying to pull him away from his purpose. Like, fuck that, you know? Because in my marriage, right, like I often felt bad for how much I was a workaholic as well. So there were things that I needed to change, but I often felt like I was the bad guy for being so fired up for what I wanted to build and create for my life, right? Yeah. And so I'm like, wait, I don't want to make these like this man or that man or whoever it is or was, like, I don't want to make him feel bad for how focused he is. I don't want to add more, like, if he's crazy busy with work right now, why am I now nagging to get time and energy? Like, I'm adding stress to the plate, right? Mm-hmm. With a man that I say, like, I say I want somebody like this, right? Yeah. And so it's been such an interesting realization to be like, no, like, that gets to, like, me as a woman who wants to be with an alpha man and who wants to surrender and like be in my feminine and have my man lead. It's like, okay, then whatever like I'm doing and how I'm showing up, I want it to empower him to be even more effective at all the shit he's doing.
Absolutely.
Right? So I love that you said that about like how important it is for a man to be so connected to his purpose and focused on that, because I think like we women like tend to want to be like, oh, if you don't have time for me, then I'm gone, right? And to a certain extent, yes, right? Like, you know, you find time, but yeah, that's been one for me that's been such a big realization.
And it's important to have someone that understand that, who's not going to nag you and make you feel bad for going after something you believe in, or someone who has their own shit going on that makes you like them even more. Like, hey, she's motivated. I like that. At least I know this person's not lazy and they want to work and they want to provide for themselves. And sometimes it can be a clash because you have egos and people, two dominant people together can be tough at times, but you can make it work if you like the person. And so I believe in supporting someone's dreams and ambitions, but also giving people space so they can live those things freely, and then really want you to come around when you guys want to see each other. It makes sense, because you don't want to be forcing your entry in their life because that's what you want, but yet they're busy. So it's in a book it talks about as well. There's phases in a man's life, like you said, where he's attracted to the hot girl. She's the dark brunette, and she's just hot and like sexy model, whatever. And like for some time, that motivates the man, right? And then this man's been with that person, say 4 or 5 years, and he has a career and has a consistent job. Now he's just tired of looking at her when he comes home. She doesn't turn him on no more. So now he needs a little girl who's good on paper, who's gonna do all the little things. She's not as sexy or as attractive, but she does everything else right, the small things, and she gets, it's just, but it's a phase the man is in. And I believe that for anybody, women and men, like your phases in your life is going to change how you view your partner, how you see them. It's not every day or every year you're like, you're kind of like blowing me right now, but I don't really appreciate your energy. But then shit next week is like, yo, I fucking love you. Come here. You know what I mean? But it's all about the emotional state you're in those moments and what you got going on in your life that affect your communication and your actions towards that person, how you feel. So I always think it's important and imperative for us to give space. We don't got to overwhelm each other with attention and time all the time, because if I tell you everything I got going on, it's not going to be nothing that you're going to want to learn or know because I told you everything. So how can we grow? Sometimes, being a mystery or having less, to ponder on is great. Or when you don't see a person as much, when you do see them, it's just like fireworks, like, yes. So that's my opinion and perspective. Everybody, some people think differently because they grew up differently, but I like to work. I like to get things done. I like to progress. I like to evolve. I like to win. But I also like to have a good time and like to, kick it in where it makes sense and fulfill each other's cup and have, good times together. I think that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that I think it's important to know where your own boundaries are and what you need and what you want and what makes you feel loved and fulfilled in a dating relationship, in a partnership, whatever it is, but then also to, make sure you're doing everything you can to see your partner thrive and crush all their shit too,
Absolutely.
And not add stress to that. Cause and this is something even just last year, I'd be noticing myself with men I was dating who are super fucking driven and successful, and then being well, take a day off, or me being take a day off when they literally never take a day off. And I'm maybe I can wait to be that naggy, I'm adding stress. So even if they want to see me and this is good, me doing that, just adds more stress when they already have a very fucking full plate,
Hell yeah, you don't need them headaches. Just give me love me, let's love me.
Exactly. Anyway, we're we are right at time just about. I want to be sensitive to your time. I feel like we could talk about this, keep talking about all these things, obviously. Oh, actually, I do want to ask one more question on the energy stuff. You mentioned that you have developed or noticed that you have a very strong sixth sense, very strong intuition. Has that always been the case? Is this something that you've noticed more recently that's kind of been turned on and activated?
I think it's always been the case. I just didn't trust it as much as I did now. Because when I was younger, it just didn't make sense. I was like, why do I know this? Or what is this about? And now when I'm around someone, I can feel their energy or feel their thoughts, and I can just oh, okay. Or I can see where they're at, energetically, and I can kind of feel. And I'm okay, that makes sense. Or okay, all right, I see what we doing here. And you just take it for what it is. Yeah. So.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you do anything to strengthen that ability?
It's
just kind of
it's a gift, I can be with someone and I know exactly what they need. It could be anything from let me feed them, let me, court them to this, or they need information, or they feel pumped up. Like some of my training clients are like, they don't really need me for training. They just want my energy to feel good about themselves. So let me make them feel good while we train.
Yeah.
So you get it. 6 seconds.
Absolutely.
It's like, I know, I see you, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. No, I get it, because same. Like, and that I think comes from so much about like having so much sacral authority, right? Because that's where our intuition and our gut is. And yeah, I hear you. And sometimes, and that's something that I teach, and I'm stepping into teaching more. And I'm like, yeah, but I just know it. I'm like, it just like comes naturally.
Yeah, you just know, and then you get it.
Yeah. I love that. I know we have so many similarities with so many of these things. So, okay. Well, like I said, I could keep going. We are at time. So, obviously, this show, Amplify, is all about people owning their truth, using their voice, standing out in the world as the most, like, unapologetic. Oh, what up, y'all? We are still going. Woo! Standing out as the most unapologetic, bold, aligned, authentic, abundant version of themselves. So obviously, aside from everyone going and getting the book, 100 Days of Wisdom, and you've got 100 quotes in here to give you that daily, like, light that fire for you, give you that wisdom, that reflection, all of that. Aside from people going and getting the book, what is like one key piece of advice that you would give people who just want to like live more authentically, live more unapologetically and more boldly, whether that's like one quote that you're really reflecting on these days, like a question to ask yourself, something to do every morning, like what's like one parting word of wisdom or thing to give the audience?
It would just be get to know yourself, and once you know yourself, be completely yourself, and life will be so much easier. That's it. Because no one can be you more than you.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, that's just what it is.
I mean, that's something I tell my clients, the listeners all the time is the more you are, the more of a magnet you become for everything that you want. Everything that you desire. Like the more you tap into yourself and your authenticity and your own magic, everything starts flying your way.
Yeah, it's really simple. Get to know yourself so you can be yourself, and then the rest will do itself. It's that simple.
Yes.
This is what I do. I'm always over here trying to figure me out so I can understand and be more of that. And the rest
Absolutely.
I can control. So, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so one more time, where can everybody get in touch with you? Where can everybody get the book?
Well, get the book. You go to my Instagram, social media, at Eric Bigger. You can go to my Twitter as well, Eric_Bigger. And click the link in my bio and get the physical copy of 100 Days of Wisdom. You also can go to my website, it's miracleseason.com, and get it as well. So it's all up to you. It's there. Have it. You need it. Get it for someone as a gift. You got Thanksgiving. You got Christmas, birthdays every day. It's a good quote book for a great coffee table, and it's some inspiration there that'll change your life and help you get through your toughest times and your happiest times. So 100 Days of Wisdom, 100 quotes to live a more inspired life by me, Eric Bigger.
Yes.
Share it, get it, be it, live it, know it, grow it, and you'll have it. It's that simple. It's miracle season, baby. Amplify your life with 100 Days of Wisdom.
I love this. This was so much fun. Thank you so much for joining, and I'm so pumped for everybody to hear this. Those who didn't get to hear it on the live stream, which lucky y'all, huh?
Lucky y'all.
How about that?
Yep.